Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm walking through Harbor Freight today, was walking by the aisle where they have all these things, and I found this, a 12-piece survival kit that is great for camping, boating, fishing, RVing, hiking, and biking. Let's break into this thing today, see what's inside, and see if it's any good. All right, so if you remember, we bought this at Harbor Freight for $12 or something. This was their survival knife, this big kind of Rambo style Bowie knife thing. We put this through a pretty good brutal testing, and it was surprisingly better than we thought. So I figured today, as I walked past there and I saw that thing and I spotted this, for $24, the survival kit's probably not that great. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is a great survival kit. I don't know. It really doesn't tell you much about what's inside other than the outside here. They give you like a spork thing, looks like, and kind of a folding, real cheap kind of knife, and like a real cheap kind of flashlight. But there might be more. There's supposed to be 12 pieces in here, so let's break inside of it and see what it is. It looks like it's got a little you know, like one of those like cheap knockoff plastic waterproof cases that it comes with and you can store it all in. So it might be cool to throw in the truck or just have, you know, if you've got somebody young just getting into camping or something like that, throw this in the bottom of their pack or something. That might be kind of cool. The front says it's a 12-piece kit, emergency survival kit. It includes a stainless steel survival knife, 7-in-1 multi-use spork, 7-in-1. Uses for a spork. Okay. Flashlight, pocket bellows, wire saw. Well, those are, we've seen those are not the best. Water bottle clip, emergency blanket, fishing tools, survival bracelet, fire starter, saber card, and a tactical pen. So I don't know that, you know, a tactical pen and, you know, a water bottle clip are technically survival items, but you know, we'll see what's inside. All the essentials for an emergency: water resistant storage case included, compact and lightweight. Okay, so we've got our kit laid out in front of us. Whatever is inside this case we'll go through last. They give you, and these three items are outside of it. I'm assuming they fit in the case, but we'll find out. So first up, they give you a flashlight. It has no batteries in it. Cool. Let's see, how do we... That's the glass. All right, let's open this side. Oh, they do give you a battery. That's cool. It just had the little paper in it. It's kind of loose fitting in there. I don't know that that's the greatest, but... So, Oh, it's got a little strobe setting. That's cool. This looks like 3 settings. So you just click it on and off. You've got high, low, and strobe. Sorry if that just caused somebody to have a seizure. So it's not bad. It's got it's got a decent little clip, a little belt clip on it. It's not inverted or anything, so you can't like clip it on your hat brim and use it as like a headlamp. So it would just kind of have to hold it. There's like this bezel around the end of the light that is honestly kind of sharp. I guess it's supposed to be used as like a tactical thing to like hit something if you need to. And it keeps the glass kind of protected in there. It's just a little 1 LED light. It's got some like, you can see that kind of like just knurling and stuff on it to make it look kind of cool. But honestly, all that like different layering and stuff, this thing's super uncomfortable in your hand, and it's just short enough that it's like kind of annoying to like, you can't hold it, you know, if you were gonna do it in tactical style fashion and like hold it, you know, it's not really the best. If you were doing something with like using it as a fighting or a self-defense tool, it's not long enough out of your hand to like do any damage with. If you were to hold it and support the back with your thumb, it's just a little too short. It needs to be a little bit longer, and this is just kind it kind of hurts. The belt clip kind of digs into your hand a little bit. But I mean, if we're talking an emergency type style thing, it works. It's a flashlight. It's 1 AA battery, so not terrible, but I think you would get better results. So I think you would get better results from something like this. I bought these on Amazon for I want to say like 12 bucks, and I got like 10 of them. I don't know. I just prefer this better than this. It feels more comfortable just being a solid flashlight. So, but anyway, they give you this light. It's not terrible, but it's not the best. You know, it'll work. Next up is this 7-in-1 spork, it said. It's, I'm assuming this is stainless steel. It doesn't say. Probably stainless steel. It's rounded. It feels kind of soft. It works for a spoon. It doesn't feel terrible in your mouth. The spork ends are very small. I don't really know if you're like stabbing anything with that. They're very rounded. They're not very sharp or anything. Not that you want it super sharp, but they're not really pointy. I don't think you're actually like using that as a fork end. Probably would have been better just to have it as a spoon, but I guess it's something if you wanted to hold something down. So it's got this plastic case that I'm assuming pulls off. Yep. So on this plastic case, they do, looks like, give you like a survival whistle in it. I don't know how this... it works. Sorry if I just blew your ears out. So a little survival whistle built into the handle. It's okay. It's convenient. Then this side they give you a knife, I guess, to cut your food with, which I never really felt great about when they do this like knife in your fork combo thing, because in order to cut your food, you're then wrapping your hand around the thing that goes in your mouth and cutting your food, and then like switching back, and you've got like a sharp blade there. I mean, it's not sharp, but it's sharp enough that you now have to worry about getting that, or you got to put the case back on. It's kind of annoying, but again, emergency situation, it works. It's kind of flimsy, but it's durable enough that it's better than plastic. They give you a little bottle cap opener on this side. If this is supposed to be a saw, you're better off chewing it with your teeth. Like I think that's supposed to be like a serrated saw edge. That's horrible. I would probably sharpen that a little bit. And then they give you 2 like hex key things here in case you find the random perfectly sized, whatever that is, 6 mil nut in the wild as you're trying to survive, and you need to tighten that up, or this tiny little thing here. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be used for, or what the slot is here for, but that's the spork. It's a spork. I would honestly keep it like this in this case and use it as a spoon rather than all the rest of that junk. It's kind of, I don't know. So on to the big showpiece, the knife. It's got a decent belt clip on it. Looks like it has, is that built into it? Yeah. So it's got a little razor blade in here that's separate. So it's like a seatbelt cutter kind of thing. That's kind of cool. That it's not part of the blade. It's kind of a separate thing. It looks like it's in there sharpened. So yeah, that's kind of cool that they give you that option, that's kind of sharpened to seatbelt cutter or paracord cutter or some kind of little small rope. They give you a glass breaker in the bottom, or a head, smack someone in the head with it. That's decent. The handle it's cheap feeling. It's got some hot spots, but it's not terrible in your hand. It feels pretty good. I feel like you've got enough that you could probably get up there on that a little bit if you're going to do some fine carving or make feather sticks or something out of it. I like that the blade is just smooth. It's a little bit of like a convex grind. I think that's called convex. Convex, yeah. A little bit of a convex grind on the end, but it's not terrible enough that you can't sharpen it. It's fairly sharp out of the box. So it's not terrible, and it's good enough that you can do some daily tasks with it. Use it with this spoon instead of that stupid knife on the end to cut your food if you need to, or whatever. And it's good enough to do basic tasks, enough to get you a fire going. I bet you could probably baton wood with this and it would hold up for a little while. You know, it's not the best, but it's something. It's got a little lock on it, and it's got a little assist on it, so it kind of opened. That's good. That's pretty bad, but it opens. It gives you something, so that's kind of cool. The lock feels pretty solid. Yeah, it's not terrible. It's a decent little knife, so not bad. The blade really doesn't come into that like rope cutter at all when it's closed, so you could still use it and to cut that rope or that seat belt or whatever you want to cut. So that's pretty decent. You know, it's not a Benchmade or anything like that, or zero tolerance. It's a cheap knife, but like I said, in this pinch, if this is for survival, it'll get you through for a little while, you know, if you treat it gently. So there's the big 3 pieces on the outside. Let's get inside this box, see what else is inside of here. So these clips on the outside are annoying. They're kind of cheap, but get your nails in there. Okay, let's see what's inside. So it's just like one of those cheap plastic waterproof cases. There's no rubber gasket or anything around it. It's just a plastic lip that goes inside that plastic lip. So I would say it's more water resistant than proof. There's nothing that's really going to seal it, but if you drop it in a puddle or something, it should be okay if you grab it pretty quick. Let's see, on the top they give you some paperwork, mainly just a bunch of stuff. That on the front of this knife apparently is this part here is considered a scraper, I guess. I don't know what you're scraping with that. Rope hole. These are rope holes? I'm not sure what you would do with that. Why you would want to tie it, unless you want to wrap that or something. I don't know. Fork, spoon, rope hole, blades. This slot is nothing, apparently just to cut weight probably. So there's that. I'm not going to read the rest of that stuff, but you can if you buy it. All right. So right on the top, they give you kind of one of those cheap Mylar blankets. These aren't bad. I have them in a lot of my kits, a lot of my packs. I prefer kind of nicer ones. You can go on Amazon and buy a lot thicker quality ones for pretty much the same price. They're pretty cheap. You could buy them in like 4 or 5 packs or whatever. But this isn't bad. These do come in handy. You should have one of these on hand at all times. They could save your life. What do we got here? Oh, I think this is our water bottle holder, maybe? Yep. So again, not really considering this a survival item, but it's something like you can, I guess, put this around your belt and use it as a belt clip. It's got Velcro on it as well as the snap. Okay, I guess it's just super secure, but I feel like the Velcro or the snap would have been enough. But there's a little belt loop to go on your belt, and then this disconnects, I guess, to go around your water bottle. I wonder if this works on like a standard like Kroger bottle, right? No. All right, that ain't gonna work. Let's try. So I found an empty like sport cap bottle, and that holds decent if you hang that off your pocket, your belt or whatever. That's not gonna go anywhere, so that'll hold a bottle of water on the side of you if you need to. Problem being, if you're... All right, so again, not really an emergency type survival item, I would say. It's just more like filler to me. You can just hold a water bottle, but I guess it's more of a convenience type thing, so okay, that's fine. It's very cheap plastic, but it seems durable enough that it'll hold fine. So what do we got here? This is the fishing kit. Plastic bags are cool. So like this isn't supposed to be part of the kit, but I'm looking at it as I'm going to use everything if I'm in a survival situation. The little plastic bags are cool for collecting things. This is like on the small side where I would say it's almost too small to use, but like something like this would be cool, but they put holes in it. So you can't really use it for that if you need to like collect stuff or whatever. You know, in a pinch, like they give you this for your water bottle, but they don't give you a water bottle. You know, if you don't have one on you, you know, a plastic bag is your next best bet. Pick it up in a Ziploc and up from a puddle somewhere, find a way to purify it, and you've got something to carry water in. But whatever. So, plastic bag. We're not going to count that though. They give you a pretty decent amount of fishing line with one single hook, but it's a decent hook. And they give it to you on this little spool, so you might even be able to like put a stick through there and make a makeshift kind of reel. So not bad, kind of cool. And they give you one. This is kind of cool that they give you this, because you know you don't want to go digging for worms or something or try to catch a bug. They give you a little bit of some fake bait. So that's kind of cool. Let's see, is this bag? Nope, this is a thin bag, and I think I already ripped it. It might be decent. So you got a decent-ish bag here, but I ripped a hole in it already, so it's again. So they give you a fire steel here. These little ones are okay. If you've ever tried to start a fire with them, they're okay to use, but you know, if I'm gonna have a preference, I want a larger one in here, which you do have the room in the case to put it. So, but this works. It's kind of a cheapo, but they've got, you know, a ruler on here. Oh, it's a map ruler. So if you have a map, it'll measure up to 5 kilometers at 1 to 100,000. So they give you that in this little, I guess that's a bottle cap, another bottle opener with maybe like a hex thing if you need to use it for a wrench. And then this grooved end. Let's see, let's scrape a little off. Decent sparks, not bad. So, I mean, it'll work. It's not the most comfortable thing, you know, in your hand. These cheap ones aren't the best, but it works, and it'll get at least sparks for you if you can get some dry tinder. Let's see, next up, they give you a paracord survival bracelet. It's got a whistle in it. Oh, is that like another striker? Oh, that's cool. Okay, so it's cheap, but it's cool. Inside here, this rod is another ferro rod, and they give you a little striker with it. So let's see, can you do it while it's on the thing? And I broke it. Okay, well, that's not the best, but it might work. Let's see, just take it off. See, can I hold it? Something. There we go. So it kind of works. That's all right-ish. No, I immediately broke it. That's cheap junk. But I like the idea. That was kind of cool to have that in there. I could probably super glue that back on. I don't know how long paracord this is, but looks like it might be 6-8 feet or something like that. It's enough to get around your wrist. You know, that's cool. It gives you some cordage. I like that. The clip is kind of cheap, but it works, and it's got a built-in little compass on it. Let's see, is it pointing in the right direction? Yeah, north is that way. So it's at least pointing in the right direction. It's a cheap little compass, but it gives you some kind of bearing, so that's cool. I like that. Next, they give you this pocket bellows. It's not bad. It doesn't really go down as small as I would like for a bellows to really get in there, but it's decent. It's something to collapse so you're not putting your face in the fire to get a fire going. So not terrible. Cool to have, I guess. This one I disagree with being in there altogether. Tactical pen. I find no uses for tactical pens. I think they're just kind of a silly gimmick, maybe. So it does act as a pen. It writes, so that's good. A writing utensil, fine. If that's what you're going to use it for, you can leave a note. If If you're in a survival situation, hey, I was here, I took off, I went in this general direction. You can use your compass for that. Write a note or a message to somebody. But after that, you've got this big, giant, bulky thing for what? I guess it's a self-defense tool, right? But like, if you're in some type of wilderness survival situation, you don't need a survival pen. Like, that's not going to do much for you to help get food or anything or defend yourself, because by then they're on you. And as far as like a survival item goes, you've got the knife. So, that's your defense tool as well. So I don't know. Going on a tangent about survival pens or tactical pens. It's big, it's bulky, it takes up a lot of room. But it gives you something to write on, or something to write with, to leave a note or something or whatever. So it could work. Let's see if we take it apart. Yeah, like this is the end of the pen. That thing's bulky, but can you mark that in there? No. Nope. That'd be cool if that could fit in there, because then you have a more precision, way of using the bellows, but it doesn't fit. So you've just got all this bulk and this weight that you're carrying around with this big giant pen. But it's a pen, it works. Second to last thing, they give you one of these like card things that you can use. It's got a decent crosscut saw on it. That's probably one of the best saws I've seen on one of these stupid like little things here. It actually, I don't know if you can see, but it actually has cross-cut saw teeth on it. It's not just these stupid rib things like on the spoon, where it's like, oh, look, we gave you a saw. So it does give you that. It cuts. I mean, it's not bad. It's an inch worth of saw blades though, so it's going to take you all day cutting through if you're trying to cut something. You would have to be cutting something pretty small if you needed small sticks or something. And I honestly would just like axe chop it with the knife before I would try to use this thing. But it's, as far as the blade goes, it's decent. I don't know what that's supposed to be. If that's like a bearing thing for your compass. Kind of. Oh yeah, kind of. That's cool. So it kind of gives you bearings to go off for your compass. This is that like stupid hex thing. So if you're out in the middle of the woods and you find a nut that you need to tighten, and it's that big or smaller, maybe. And the third bottle cap opener that you have, because like for some reason in a survival situation, all you come across is bottles that need to be opened with that aren't twist off anymore. Okay. There's a little ruler with no increments of measurement on the side here, so you're not really sure what you're measuring. That's not an inch by any means, so I'm not sure what that is supposed to be. There's another one of those even tinier little nut tightener things. A slot for no reason, probably to cut weight. This is decent on this end, so this makes it worthwhile, right? I give you shit about the bottle opener, but this is a can opener. So it does have a sharpened edge on the side. You can use this, kind of like military style can opener. So if you do have a can of food, I could see that, right, as being useful, that you can get into that. It's got a little flathead screwdriver on this side, and again, some kind of like blade, sharpened edge on the side. You could maybe scrape, maybe make feather sticks with it, but just use your knife. So these things, I don't really, when they're like general like this, and they do have specific ones that are decent, but this one is just it's kind of crap. It's okay. Let's see what else we got. So this is the last item. This is their pocket saw thing to be able to cut wood down with. These are notoriously garbage, but they put them in every survival kit because it's something. They do work, but not as great as you'd think. These little rings here are not supposed to be for your fingers. To be honest, they're supposed to be, you put sticks inside of them. I don't have any sticks or doweling or anything in here, but essentially this wraps around a tree and you're supposed to kind of saw back and forth to cut it. You're not cutting anything bigger than maybe an inch around with this. Like, If you're trying to cut poles for like a shelter or something, you might be able to use this on very green wood. I wouldn't use it on dead wood, but even then, it's not going to cut great. There's not actual teeth, it's just kind of sharpened, braided line, and they do snap fairly easy. What I would use it for, if you could get it off here, is this little swivel here would be great for fishing, to use with the fishing kit. So that you could kind of harvest that off of there if this snapped. If you were using it and it snapped, it might get you a branch or two before it breaks. But, you know, it's something. So that's the stuff that comes inside the Gordon 12-piece emergency survival kit. Honestly, it's not worth $24. Do they give you $24 worth of stuff? Yeah, probably, but just not the biggest fan of all the stuff that's in here. It's decent, but I think we could do better. Like, they give you all this like padding and stuff in here that takes up all this room. Like, why do you need this to be protected from bouncing around or anything? Like, so like, I tell you what, this isn't gonna go very long, but let me show you just real quick with what I have laying around, what I can put in here to make this survival kit better. There is some stuff from this I would keep. So let me pack this out and I'll show you what I'd put in here on the fly with just what I have here to make this kit better. All right, so I've spent the past 5 minutes just kind of gathering some items from around the garage and stuff I had laying around, and I packed this thing out a lot better. So I'll go through the stuff real fast in here and just show you what I kept from the old kit, stuff that I added in and why. First thing, I didn't put this in the case. It didn't come in the case originally. I guess there was room to put it, but you could throw a Ranger band around this, some tape, whatever, if you need to have this on here. But usually I'm always gonna have a pocket knife on me, but I kept this in here to be like, okay, it's part of the kit, tape it on there, whatever, but you've got a knife. I'm not gonna put it in here if I'm in a survival situation. I'm gonna put it in my pocket so that I have it on me if I need it. So I kept the knife. It's not a great knife, but it's something in a survival situation. It's not bad. If you wanna replace the knife for something better, go ahead. So inside, I packed it out. Inside, I've got one of those big giant mega warmers. I love these things, like I said in other videos. Rip this open at night, this could keep you warm. It could put it on, you know, put it in your coat or something, keep you warm, because more than likely, if you're stuck somewhere, you're in a survival situation, it might get cold at night, you don't have shelter put up yet, this could help, especially if it's getting dark as you get into your emergency, right? Most people are like, you see the emergency videos of like, oh my gosh, you're in an emergency situation. First thing you need to do is get in the woods and start cutting down trees and building a shelter, debris hut and all this stuff. It's like, sometimes you have like 5 minutes. It could be dark when your emergency happens. So something like this could help you out. So I got rid of this little mini blanket thing, and I put in here one of these bivvies by Atomic Bear. So this is essentially the same thing as this, but this is an actual sleeping bag type thing. So it's the Mylar stuff. It's that real thick Mylar blanket material, but it's like a tube that you can fit down inside and you can reuse it, and it'll keep you warm. It'll fit, I think it's like 7 feet long, so it'll fit, if you're 6 feet tall or so or less, it'll fit you pretty comfortably. You can get all the way inside it and kind of roll it up and keep you warm throughout the night. This is a great little item to have. It doesn't take up a ton of space in here, and it even has the fancy survival whistle attached to it if you need it. It's bright orange, so if you are in an emergency situation, somebody is going to be able to see this over something like this, even though this is reflective, so they'll be able to see it. If you don't want somebody to see you and you're trying to hide, cover it with debris, leaves and stuff that you have laying around. So not bad. And they're fairly cheap too. These things aren't that expensive. So for the price of like buying a 6-pack of these, you could buy one of these and it's gonna last you a lot longer. I kept the spoon in. So I got rid of this stupid tactical pen because it's something to defend you, right? Or protect you, I guess. And I swapped it out for pepper spray. This is gonna be a lot better of a deterrent if you want that non-lethal type deterrent. So this is your lethal defense. This is your non-lethal defense. a little bit of pepper spray. You can hang it off your belt loop or something and rip it down if it's an emergency. If you got a wild animal coming up on you or something, spray this, they'll get the hell out of there pretty quick. Or a person or something if they're coming towards you. Pepper spray is going to work a lot better. You're going to be able to put some distance between you and them over this stupid pen thing. So that's that. I kept the paracord bracelet in just because it's cordage and it's kind of cool. You can wear it around you and it's one less thing you have to carry in this box. Put it on you and you've got a bearing and compass. I kept the flashlight in here. I tried to get this other one in here, but it was just, I don't know, it was just slightly too big that I couldn't get the door to close, so I kept this thing in here. It's not bad, it's a flashlight. It'll work. I added a chem light in here, just a crack light, because A, you don't want to have your flashlight burning all night long and burning up your one AA battery that you have. So I threw a chem light in here just to crack and give you some light if it's in your camp or whatever. You've got other people you're trying to mark your trail or something. A chem light can work, and these things last like 12 hours with light. So I got one of those in there. I kept the fishing kit in here, so that's decent. And then I put the bellows back in, but I built the fire kit out better. So I kept the bellows. I put a giant ferro rod in here, so this will be able to give you good spark and last quite a while. So I've got one of those big 1/2-inch round guys in there. I threw a little bag full of 6 fire plugs in here. So this is some tinder. Like, it gives you something to start a fire with, especially if your wood's wet or something, a little bit damp, and you're trying to like scrape down to find some dry stuff. This might be long enough to get you a flame going to get that fire started if you can't find dry tinder at the time. So some fire plugs are a great asset to have. And then finally, you don't want to be sitting there trying to spark a fire. Just put a Bic lighter in these things. Like, I get they probably can't because it's gas, or I don't know if there's like rules around it, but put a damn lighter in, because I'm not in a survival situation, especially if I'm cold and night sun's going down. I'm not going to sit there trying to get a bird's nest and tinder together and trying to catch a spark and all this stuff. Just put a damn lighter in it. So those are the things that I added to the kit that I would do to make it better. You know, I'm sure there's stuff missing. You know what else I would put in here is, I have it somewhere, but I don't know what I did with it now, but a Sharpie. So I would put a Sharpie in this to have a writing utensil in there. I do think there is some value in this pen, but it's stupid and it weighs too much. Put a Sharpie in there and you can write now on anything. Like, a pen works great on paper sometimes, but like, what if you don't have paper on you or something? You put a Sharpie, you can write on your windshield, like, started walking east, you know, at this date, this time, something. So a Sharpie, I think, is going to be a lot better. I would add that in here as well. But that's it. So that's what I would have in my survival kit if I were to buy this kit and build it out. Is it worth the $24? If you want, I'm going to say no. There's better survival kits out there for $24. But if for some reason you just have to have this one, it doesn't cost a whole lot to remove some of these lesser items and add some other stuff in. Like, you know, here's the items I removed. Is like this water bottle thing. It's cool. It's a good little gimmick thing, but it's not needed for a survival situation. You can carry a bottle of water with you. You know, life's not that hard that you need to carry it on your belt all the time. So I don't see the value in that. This Mylar blanket's not bad if you don't want to go the bivvy route, but I like the bivvy route because look at the size difference between them. It gives you a lot more coverage, and you can use this as a tarp to hang over top of your shelter if you're building one. You can use it as a shelter. It's an emergency. You're there. I need someplace to sleep now. It gets you warm and gets you safe out of the elements. Where this is you're just kind of huddling around it. So it works, but you know, I got rid of this for the larger one, but if you don't want the larger one, you've got the lighter. This works just fine, but it does take up more space than just that one giant rod. So, you know, whatever you want to do with that. The pen thing, obviously, and this chainsaw thing, I don't know. I could probably wind it up and put it in there. It would fit in there. But instead of using it as a chainsaw, I would take this off of here. Can I take it off there? Yeah. So what I would do is take this off here, that loop off the one side, and tie this off to a tree. And now you've got kind of a, I would maybe take this one off too and just use the swivel, but now you've got a makeshift snare. So you might be able to snare some food, you know, if you're good enough at that, and you can identify some game trails or something where small game's running by often and you can corral them in. Now you can make a snare and this thing will catch them and choke them up pretty good. So maybe, you know, you'd have to work at it, but I would make this as more of a snare than a chainsaw. And then I got rid of this thing too, because it's useless. It just, the can opener's cool, but in a pinch, I've got that knife. I could stab into a tin can with a knife and open it if I need be. So that's it. I tried to fit in some of these like stormproof matches with a little lighter, a little case. These are like the big one kind of things, but they're not the best ones, but they're a little cheapos, but I just didn't have the room. If I had more room or a little bit of a larger case, I would take some more of those crack lights, maybe some more fire starters, more hand warmers type things, maybe some better flashlights, stuff like that. But this is with the space that we had. So if you're still here, I know this video probably went a little bit longer than it was supposed to, and I've been talking quite a bit, but if you're still here, give me a thumbs up, comment, like. It really does help the algorithm to help me get out there. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs this year. We're getting close. We are almost to 700. I'm not sure when this video is going to come out, but we're almost to 700 subs. 750, we're giving away that hit bag. Look for the video I got pinned to the top of my channel if you want to get into that drawing. We're almost to 1,000, man. We are growing really fast, and I cannot thank you enough, all my new subscribers that are new to the channel. Especially the old ones that have been here from the beginning. I really appreciate you all. I will see you on the next one.